steep increase in fuel, which kicks in at midnight. And of course, it's despite the 11th hour decision by the Treasury to extend the fuel levy relief at least until early August. We're joined by the Energy Department's Deputy Director General for Petroleum and Mineral Resources, Tseliso Maqubela. Mr. Maqubela, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Look, you know, it was a last-minute announcement from the Treasury and the Department of Energy and Minerals. I wonder, was there no other way of doing it? Is this the only way that it could have worked out?
Good evening, Cathy, and also to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Well, first of all, I think I would want to really take this opportunity to thank the leadership of our government, the two ministers, for leading us in this process. It was not an easy process because at the end of the day, as the statement indicates, there are implications in as far as the fiscus is concerned. And therefore, we had to make sure that we follow all the necessary prescripts to actually do the extension. It was different from the first one because the first one was fully funded from the sale of the strategic stocks. But this one will not be fully funded from the sale of strategic stocks, and therefore there had to be some processes followed.
What does that mean practically for the revenue collection aspect of the department?
So, as the statement that was released by Treasury is concerned, we definitely then are going to have to find ways of filling that gap, which is around 4 billion, as was indicated in the statement. So we will still be challenged as a team working together with the National Treasury team to find a way of closing that gap so that there isn't a major impact on revenue.
At the time sorry, continue.
Now, I think importantly, the consideration and the directive that we received from the principals was that there is no way that consumers at this point are going to pay R3.93, and that we need to work and find a way that the consumers will be cushioned, because this is really not an increase of our own making. This is as a result of what is happening globally, and we are just, in fact, a victim of what is happening globally.
2 months ago, when the fuel levy, or at least the exemption of the fuel levy was announced, it was clear at the time that government would also be pursuing other measures to, in fact, try and see how else to intervene in managing the cost of fuel. Now, not much of that seems to have happened, at least not in a way that is visible to consumers. Tell us about the work that perhaps you may have been doing behind the scenes and why it is, again, at the last minute, it seemed, even from public pressure, we now have announcement of an extension of the fuel, but not much has come out of what else was contained in that list of possible measures that government will be looking at in as far as trying to manage that overall price of fuel.
Okay. Yeah, I think the reality of the situation is that the other measures would basically have netted us a decrease of about 13 cents. And that was what we had communicated even at that point. So what the two ministers have done, they have removed now what is called the demand side management levy of 10 cents. That is why ULP unleaded 95 basically has dropped by the increase is less than the one for ULP 93. It's because there's a levy of 10 cents that has now been removed. Now, that only benefits those fuel customers that are inland, in the inland region. It's not going to benefit the consumers that are at the coast because they were not charged that levy before. Now, the other issue is that when you are in a regulated environment, even as government, you need to consult. And through consultation with the other major players in the sector, we've come to a decision that the 3 cents that we had spoken about, we still need to have more discussions about it. We have an intention as government to implement that 3 cents reduction. However, in terms of the law, we need to give people time to make comments on that. We can't just make a decision which is not backed by public consultation.
Right now, the calls for more comprehensive measures that really to support again consumers is resounding, and one of it, of course, is a call for the overall review of the fuel price. So taking into account all of the different components that make up this overall cost and what can be done away with. And the low-hanging fruit that some have pointed to are the fuel levy and the road accident fund levy. Now, in as far as the interventions that you're looking at right now, is it an option for the department to completely scrap the fuel levy and even scrap the road accident fund levy?
Okay, I think it's important for all of us as society to be realistic and realize that what we do as a country, we also need to look at what our trading partners are doing. I know that some of them are well off, but what is happening globally? So what has been decided by government is in line with what has been done in other countries of the world. We've looked at countries, for example, as far as Vietnam, France, Spain, Germany, South Korea, India, and the only intervention that has been made is a reprieve on a percentage of the fuel levy. In all these jurisdictions, that's what has been done. Because there is an acceptance that even if you were to revisit the makeup of fuel prices in terms of regulation, you will basically extract less than 1%, for example, and that won't really benefit the consumer much, because we are in this situation because of the global economic war that is centered in Eastern Europe.
All right.
That's effectively what the issue is. Yeah.
Tseliso Maqubela, we're going to have to leave it there for tonight. Deputy DDG for the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Regulation at the Energy Department.